1 million man protest takes place in various parts of the country as demonstration ends Saturday. Police chaplain, daughter abducted in Zamfara, seek help to regain freedom. 19 more bodies recovered from Bayelsa boat mishap. The forest and landslide kills 8 in Ugandan capital. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. The news. As the hunger protest reaches day 10, concerns about the magnitude of the demonstrations has been on the minds of both the government and citizens following the turnout of the nationwide demonstration which turned violent in different parts of the country. In the FCT, however, the demonstration, after a few days of scuffle between the police and demonstrators, seemed to be calm with little to no visible activity. Trust TV's Sergey Ibrahim was at the Moshood Abiola's stadium and has this report.
The demonstrations started on the 1st of August, calling the attention of the government to the hunger and difficulties faced by millions of Nigerians. It as well demanded for an end to bad governance in the country. 10 days later, the Moshood Abiola Stadium, the venue of the demonstrations in Abuja, seemed deserted at first glance, with security personnel visibly seen around the vicinity. Upon accessing the facility, a handful of activists sitting peacefully by the entrance say they are there to carry on.
For me, is to come, stay here, let them come and tear gas me. I'm a mother in the land, and you need to be able to look at the quantum. I cannot go to the market and smile. I cannot go to the petrol station and smile. We cannot buy gari anymore. For the poorest of the poor, they cannot afford gari. So what am I doing? As I'm sitting down here, for the many hours that I have sat here, how many women have died on the maternity death row? How many of them? The reason why I came in here is, instead of sitting down and be receiving news of how they shot the children, let them, me that is even closer to going home to my father, is it not better for me to come and stay here with them, or to watch at home and be watching that our children have been killed?
Sometimes government does not even want to hear that people are protesting, because government feels that if people express mass dissatisfaction with a policy, it registers on their credibility. So they want to cover it up. And so oftentimes police now take their obligation as to stop protests instead of ensuring that every protest is peaceful, orderly.
They say despite the low turnout on day 10, their messages have been heard loud and clear.
Nigerians know that they are winners. Right now, I think they have demystified the strength of even traditional rulers, because they all came to President Tinubu. Traditional rulers, religious leaders, they all came and they vowed to go and tell their people not to protest. Have they not protested? You have a huge population of children that wake up in the morning and can go nowhere, graduates, and they are in their multiple of millions. And so I want to say that, we have succeeded.
Okay, if you look at protests from the perspective of agreeing to the demand, it's a failure. Now that failure is on government, and so it tells a story that we are living with a very repressive, undemocratic government. But the essence of whether you are a people's person is how you govern.
After the 6 days, many people have come out, big people, to start engaging the government. Before, everybody was behaving like ostrich. Now everybody is coming out to harvest the gains of this 10 days protest of the youth.
While the demonstrations might not have gained momentum in Abuja, the activists are confident that the 10 days of mass action will awaken a conversation among Nigerians on the need to demand more from their government, especially as their living conditions continue to be negatively impacted by its policies. From the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, Sergey Ibrahim for Trust TV News.
Now, over in Lagos State, the last day of the nationwide protest was met with heavy police presence, resulting in residents staying back as police barricaded protest venues. The protest, which was aimed at addressing issues of hunger and bad governance, recorded a low turnout due to the police blockade. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise tells us more.
Police officers were deployed to strategic locations, including protest venues, to prevent demonstrators from gathering. Barricades were set up to block access to the protest areas, effectively preventing residents from participating.
The youth should take it easy. They should go along with their protest, but I'm appealing to them not to destroy any of the government properties. That is my greatest concern. It is good for them to protest, to show their grievances.
The way things are changing every day, the way things are turning upside down, the more you look is the less you see. That's what we are facing in this country.
The low turnout was attributed to the police presence, with many residents opting to stay back due to fear of arrest or violence. Despite the police blockade, a few protesters found alternative ways to express their grievances, including social media campaigns and small-scale demonstrations. The police action has been criticized by some as infringement on the right of peaceful assembly and freedom of expression.
Prices of things are going high every day. Fuel is getting more costlier every day. I can't even get stuff I get with my I can't even get stuff of 1,000 that will sustain me for a day again. I know what I spend most times, so his leadership is very, very bad.
This regime has not been good, because of the hike of price in things, and a lot of things has not been moving well, and we are not really happy with Tinubu's regime.
However, some of the police officers said the step was taken in the interest of peaceful protesters as it was aimed at securing lives and property. The low turnout has also highlighted the challenges faced by residents in exercising their democratic rights. Ajibade Awofeso, Trust TV News, Lagos.
Now, the planned 1 million man march scheduled to draw the curtains on the hunger protest did not take place as planned in the FCT, as protesters were seen around the Lukogoma and Apo axis of the city. Other parts of the country that held the march on the grand finale of the #End Bad Governance protest were Adamawa, Ogun, Oyo, and Ondo states, even as there are still no signs of protests in the southeastern part of the country. Let's take a look. Those are footages and pictures, videos of protests that happened, of the 1 million march protests actually, that happened in different parts of the country today. Still on the protest, now the police in Ondo State have arrested a governorship candidate in the November 16, 2024 governorship election in the state, Kunle Ajayi, during the nationwide #End Bad Governance protest held in the state. Now, Ajayi, the candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, was arrested on Saturday alongside 7 others during a demonstration on the streets of Akure, the state capital. The protesters, who had earlier notified security agencies of the protest, were blocked around the NEPA roundabout in Akure and led to the state police headquarters. One of the organizers of the protest in the state, who escaped the arrest and pleaded not to be named, confirmed the news in a terse message. Meanwhile, a human rights lawyer in the state, Tokbe Temoko, has called for the immediate release of the protesters who are currently in police custody. Temoko would condemn the arrest of the peaceful protesters, said it is their constitutional right to pour out on the streets and demand an end to hunger and hardship in the country. The Borno State Police Command says it has arrested 97 suspects during the nationwide hunger protest tagged End Bad Governance protest. Among the suspects, 7 were nabbed for flying foreign flags, 7 social media influencers for inciting violence, while 83 were apprehended for vandalization of private and public properties, theft, looting, mischief, and culpable homicide. The police command recovered exhibits such as illegal drugs, air conditioners, fertilizers, flags, and office furniture, among others. The command's public relations officer, Nahum Kenneth Daso, while briefing newsmen at the crack police office in Maiduguri, said the suspects took advantage of the hunger protest to commit the offences. He revealed that the suspects will be charged to court at the end of investigations.
3 suspects chartered a keke napep and took one James Luka, 20 years of age, who is the driver, from Dubai area to Shagari Locust. The suspect, after luring the victim to an unknown location behind Shagari Locust, they removed a knife and stabbed him in his stomach, which led to the death of James Luka, 20 years of age.
I just brought them out, ready to go to the venue of the protest, and then the police arrested me. Honestly, I regret my actions, and I plead with the president and other leaders to forgive me. I won't do it again.
In Kaduna State, the government has banned processions not verified and cleared by security agencies henceforth. The State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, who discloses in a statement, said the decision was arrived at after State Security Council reviewed the present security situation arising from the existing 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew and other issues pertaining to public safety. The Commissioner Aruwan said the ugly events of 1st and 5th August 2024 are clear indicators that criminals are pursuing an agenda to plunge the state into chaos using protests as a camouflage. He said while the State Security Council recognizes the fundamental rights of citizens to freedom of expression, lawful assembly, and other constitutional rights enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended, Aruwan warned that the security forces cannot permit a situation wherein criminals masquerade as protesters to loot and vandalize public and private properties and unleash terror on innocent citizens as experienced on the 1st and 5th of August 2024. Finally, citizens are enjoined to continue to observe the 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew and report any incendiary activity to the Security Operations Room. Still in Kaduna, parents of 36-year-old Abbas Kabiru, who was killed by a stray bullet during an End Bad Governance protest at Rigasa, Kaduna, are calling on the security agencies to be more professional in their conduct. They made the call when Trust TV's Bello Musa visited the family residence along Abuja Road, Rigasa, in Igabi local government area of the state. Here is the report.
The incident happened when Abbas Kabir went to a barbing shop to have a haircut.
Sai sojoji akan mashina inda da na dawo ake gaya mun suka shigo layin nan a guje suna.
When I came back, I was told that soldiers riding on bikes were shooting in the area. The deceased was with his younger ones when he was unfortunately hit by a stray bullet below his armpit. His siblings had to lay on the ground for cover due to the heavy gunshots. The devastated mother of late Abbas, Amina Jibril, recounts her last moment with her son.
I was praying when I heard a series of gunshots. When I came out of the room, I was told that he was shot close to the barber's shop. He did not join the protest. He was even boiling water for his bath, but sadly, they washed his corpse with the same water.
Abbas was a skilled worker who used what he earned from painting to help his parents. His death has dealt a devastating blow to the family.
Amma ɗana ba fitinanne ba ne. Kowa da kowa ya san shi mutumin kirki ne.
My child was a good boy. The whole community knows that. He was well behaved. I train my children well and make sure they learn a particular skill before they even finish school. On the day he died, he was called out to execute a job, but he refused to go out due to the tension in town. Abbas Kabir is among the other citizens who lost their lives during the end hunger protest in Kaduna. Bella Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Now, although the protest, rather than 1 million march demonstrations, didn't take place in the northern states, special prayers for the government took place. In Zara, some communities held a special prayer to seek Allah's intervention on the present socio-economic hardship bedeviling the nation. The prayer session, attended by both youths and the aged, women and children, was held at Koyagayan low-cost Eid praying ground on Saturday. Several Islamic clerics were also in attendance, praying against the nation's insecurities, hunger, economic setbacks, and all forms of socio-economic vices. Leading the prayer as a cleric, Sabitu Maidiwani prayed Allah to prevail in the nation's wars and sought for peace, unity, stability, and economic development of the country. Still on the prayers, the National Special Prayer and Quranic recitation against hardship and hunger in the country has been observed in Kano. Reports say the session was observed at the decentralized locations across the state. Among the locations where the prayers held were Yankaba, Daurawa, Sabuntiti, amongst others.
كل شيء قدير إلهنا إن الأعداء يقعون في تلفي ويزعمون بأننا لست بالناس قد صدوا بابك بإبطال ما صنعوا قد صدوا بابك بإبطال ما صنعوا قد صدوا بابك بإبطال ما صنعوا وأنت يا رب كافي الكائف الغازي وكفى الله المؤمنين القتال كان الله قويا عزيزا اللهم إلى ما يفعل اللهم عيل ما يفعل ورده على.
Several Nigerians across the nation witnessed the End Bad Governance protest quickly turned bloody. The protest, which was initially meant to be peaceful, however, led to the death of over 20 individuals, looting of several businesses, destruction of property, and arrests of citizens. With the demonstrations now officially ended, many have been raising questions about the legality or not, as well as the impact of the protest. Here is the report.
As a result of the violence that ensued during the End Bad Governance protest, curfews were enforced by several state governments in an effort to stem the tide of criminality. Despite warnings from the federal government as well as security agencies, the protest still held and ended this Saturday with what some organizers have called 1 million marches across some states and the FCT. Meanwhile, authorities are now going after those they refer to as enemies of Nigeria and have made the protests illegal.
As a new government, it was expected that they would sit down, count the cost, and begin to cut the cost of governance. But unfortunately, it didn't have that. So the citizens had a right to protest. Where the government failed, in my view, is that the rhetorics, the threats, and the unnecessary, is it brinkmanship or whatever they call it, with the security agencies, show of force, those were not necessary.
Several Nigerians have accused the federal government of having a hand in the violence that marred the protests by trying to control the situation, as well as dissuading Nigerians from further protests.
For every protest that supposedly appears to be demanding responsibility or improvements on the governance from government tags it a desire for regime change, and they are quick to blame politicians for that. Okay, fine. But each time you have an equal opposite, which is supposedly pro-government, government is fine with it. And on the part of the supposed anti, the security agencies come with high-handedness, There's shooting, there's tear gassing, there's disruption, there's all kinds of craziness that goes on.
According to Osemeka, the arrest of protesters who did so peacefully as well as journalists could give Nigeria a bad name. He further stated that weapons bought for security purposes should never have been pointed at law-abiding citizens of the country. According to Nigerian laws, the country has ratified the United Nations Human Rights Charter No. 12, the African Union Human Rights Charter No. 9, and Articles 39 and 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which gives all Nigerians the right to protest.
Within the Constitution of Nigeria, which gives it that power as the ground norm, that is Section 1, Sub 3, that says it is the ultimate law. Any other law that is inconsistent with it is as a result of that law, null and void and of no effect. So the protesters are protesting within their rights. If you look at Chapter 4 of the Constitution, which deals with fundamental human rights, you'll find that from Section 39 to 42. Covers everything that the protesters are doing. It starts from right against discrimination, peaceful assembly, and freedom of expression, and the rest of it.
During the End Bad Governance protest, several Nigerians were allegedly arrested or attacked by security forces. In response to the allegations, Ikpebe says Nigerians must be cautious and avoid whipping up sentiments.
Now, you're supposed to protest. How are you protesting? Are you carrying placards? Are you screaming? Are you picketing? Those are the things you are doing. So how do you cross the line from peaceful protest to violent protest or becoming a criminal? Those lines are blurry, very, very blurry. So it is left for the agencies and the organizations to look at it and say, okay, no, they were picketing. You understand? But at some point, they ran through the door and broke the door down. That's a problem. That becomes a crime already.
Some Nigerians within the north decided to fly the Russian and Chinese flags and called on to the Russian President Vladimir Putin to step in, as was done in countries like Niger and Burkina Faso. Some termed that an act of treason.
It's not treason. It's well within the right. I can express anything I want. I can sit down and say, okay, oh, this is the Russian government, this, that. It is me saying what I want to say. How does that hold water? If you are flying the flag, it is still your business. So I don't think that qualifies as treason. We have to go back and look at the concept of treason. The treason is supposed to be an illegal takeover of or change of government outside the constitutional provision. And what is the constitutional provision for changing governments in Nigeria? Through the ballot.
With the protests now finally over, with little or nothing changing, Nigerians are still calling to the federal government to formulate policies that will alleviate the suffering of the people. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from the hunger protests to security matters. The chaplain of the All Saints Police Protestant Church, Mopo 42 Mobile Base in Gusau, Pastor Issa Andrew, and his 13-year-old daughter, identified as Grace, who were whisked away by suspected terrorists, have urged the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, and other Nigerians to come to their aid to enable them regain freedom from the hands of terrorists. They made their appeal in a now viral video released by their abductors who have given them 6 days from Saturday, August 10, to produce an additional 6 million naira, 2 Boxer motorcycles and 1 Honda motorcycle, or they would marry off his 13-year-old daughter who was in captivity with her father. Pastor Andrew and his daughter Grace were abducted at their residence behind the Karma Hotel bypass in Gusau on the 14th of July 2024 and have been in the terrorist enclave for about 4 weeks now. According to Pastor Andrew, his family had negotiated with the terrorists and paid 6 million naira as ransom after it had sold all the items they had received assistance from people of goodwill. He said their abductors are still demanding an additional 6 million naira and other items before they would free them.
Fellow Nigerians, I want to beg of you, I want to beg on our First Lady, the Mother of the Nation, please come to our aid. She is the Esther of our time. Please come to our aid. Our daughter has been exposed to a lot of maltreatment, a lot of exposed to starvation. She don't even know what's supposed to do. My condition is increasing every day. I'm diabetic. Please, I want Nigeria to come to our aid. I want Nigeria to come to our aid. Assist us. What is needed now is 6 million naira and 2 Bozers motorcycles and Honda motorcycle. Please come to our aid. Assist us. They have given us from now to Thursday next week. Otherwise, we are going to be executed. My wife is going to be, my daughter is going to be sent on marriage. She's just 13 years, SS1. Please help us. Help us. Help us. I need your help. Help us in this very journey. And the Lord will bless you. Thank you very much.
Joining us via phone call to give us an update on the situation is Yushal Damo, Daily Trust Regional Editor. Good evening, Yushal.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us tonight on the News Hour. Now, what has been the reaction of security agencies to the viral video of the abducted cleric and his daughter?
Well, so far we have not received a statement from either the police or the military because previously these are the two security agencies that normally issue a press statement if this kind of things happen. But as far as this case is concerned, we have not received a press statement in that respect.
All right. Now, what can you tell us about the security situation in the area that they were kidnapped from?
Well, sincerely speaking, not only the area they were kidnapped, the entire state metropolis, I mean, Gusau, is in a serious security threat, especially a few months ago, because I could recall about 2 months ago, the State Police Commissioner had to introduce a joint patrol. The patrol team include DSS, police, civil defense, and the Zamfara state-owned security outfit that is Community Protection Guard. They have been patrolling the state metropolis and the outskirts communities like Damba and Kotarkoshi. These are the areas where the rampant cases of attack by banditry are happening in the past few months. That is why the security agencies introduced this patrol. It has been on for the first about 3 months ago.
All right, thank you so much, Yushal Adamo, for that update on the situation and what's happening in Zamfara.
Thank you.
Now, moving over to other stories. Bandits on Friday evening attacked a community in Musawa local government area of Katsina State, killing one person simply identified as Sani Bello. 2 other residents sustained various degrees of gunshot wounds and are currently receiving medical attention at the Orthopedic and Federal Teaching Hospital in the state. The bandits, whose mission was to rustle animals, spent over 2 hours conducting a thorough search and successfully went away with an unspecified number of animals, including 4 camels and 15 motorcycles. Reports say those security personnel were notified in good time. They, however, arrived the village about 12 hours later, leaving the villagers at the mercy of the hoodlums. Earlier on Tuesday night, the bandits also attacked another village, abducting 1 person and rustled over 15 cows. At the moment, reports from the area confirmed seeing residents, mostly women, children and the elderly, leaving the village and its surrounding communities to other towns, while others are leaving the state to Kano State. Our reporter in the state, Abdullah Yamadi, is joining us via phone call to give us an update on the situation. Good evening, Yamadi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Shamaka.
Now, so what's the latest on this attack, and what can you tell us about the security challenges in the area?
Well, at the moment, residents have started leaving the area because of the fear of another attack. And indeed, for the past 10 years, according to some residents, they have been passing the night under the cover of trees and, of course, some crops on their farmlands. And even today, due to yesterday's attack, they told Trust TV that most of the residents have fled to other places. And not only to Janzuri, there are some neighboring communities such as Gangulle, Fanteka, Karu, Alhazawa, and Sabi. All these communities have been deserted because of the bandits attack, which has been very frequent over the last 10 years. And of course, the residents have lost all their means of livelihood to this bandit attack, because the major means of livelihood of communities around this area is farming. And they have not been able to access their farms as they used to do. And of course, they are in a very terrible situation at the moment, honestly.
Okay. So now, earlier in the story, we read that the police, or the security agencies rather, were called and reached out to in good time. However, it took them 12 hours later. Have they spoken as to why they were late? And then what are the residents' reaction to the lateness or response time of the security agencies?
Well, the village expressing their displeasure over the inaction of the security agencies during the two recent attacks, because they said the Friday's attack on 7 p.m. and the bandits spent over 2 hours there, only for the security operatives to arrive the village hours later, around 8 a.m. the following morning. So this is quite disheartening, and they're expressing their displeasure. They were even saying when mobile police were deployed to the area for over 2 years ago, they were living very peacefully, unlike what is obtained today. And they are calling on the Korada administration to adopt more strategies to ensure the security of lives and property of people of this area.
Now, Yamadi, just before we let you go, now these pockets of violence, what do they tell? Is this showing a significant gap in the security of that area?
Well, indeed. I think that is why maybe residents of the area are suggesting for change of model or trend of the fight against banditry in the state. Because this mode of operation that has been on for the past 10 years has not been effective, it has not been efficient. And of course, one can simply say it is a very weak way of the fight against banditry. So they are suggesting demilitarization of the fight, and of course, engagement of community, religious, and all other stakeholders to discuss the issues and proper solution to the problem. Because they have been saying that the way things are going, it seems the current fight may not likely end the real problem they are facing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Abdullah Ahmed, for joining us tonight on the News Hour, giving us updates on what's happening in Katsina State. Hopefully these issues are resolved and people can go back to their homes and farmlands.
Thank you, Mr. Shamaka.
This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. 19 more bodies recovered from Bielsa boat mishap. More when we return. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. We informed you that 1 million man protest takes place in various parts of the country as demonstration ends Saturday. We also informed you that a police chaplain daughter abducted in Zamfara seek help to regain freedom. Moving to more stories still in security. The Nigerian Army says troops of 6th Brigade apprehended 7 suspected terrorists and recovered a cache of weapons in separate operations conducted in Taraba State. Acting Assistant Director, 6th Brigade Army Public Relations Captain Olubodun Deoni disclosed this in a statement on Saturday. According to the statement, a suspected bandit, Yusuf Musa, was arrested with 1 AK-47 rifle and 20 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition. The statement added that 118 cows were recovered and handed over to the rightful owners. According to the statement, the troops also recovered 1 motorcycle, 4 mobile phones, and the sum of 57,000 naira from the suspects. The commander, 6th Brigade, Brigadier General Kingsley Chidebere Uwa, commended the troops for their dedication and swift action in ensuring the safety of the people of Taraba State. The Kwara State Police Command has arrested 28 suspects for their alleged involvement in armed robbery, kidnapping, and court-related activities across the state in the last 3 months. Parading some of the suspects, who are mostly young men, at the police headquarters in Ilorin, the Commissioner of Police said they were arrested across the 3 zones of the state. He appealed to parents to monitor the movement of their wards, as membership of courts has been on the increase in the state. The police boss also thanked various community leaders for providing information leading to the arrest and apprehension of kidnappers across the state.
The Kwara State Police Command has successfully thwarted an attempted initiation ceremony by a suspected cult group known as Aye in the Agboba area. The operation took place on 14th July 2024 at approximately 06:30 hours following a tip-off received. Acting on credible information, the Kwara State Police Command swiftly mobilized detectives and patrol teams to the scene. The coordinated efforts of our detectives, in collaboration with community policing volunteers, successfully frustrated the nefarious plans of the cult group.
Over in Kano State, the Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission and major flour dealers are working to address artificial price hikes in flour and other food items in the state. The price of flour had hit 85,000 naira per bag after single market was reopened following days of inactivity due to the hunger protest. Here is the report.
As the cost of living continues its upward trend across the nation, the Kano State government has sustained efforts towards tackling rising food prices in major markets. On Friday, the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission met with master bakers and market leaders associations in the state to address the recent flour price hike following the hunger protest.
Most of these people that are into this business, they are rather not the manufacturers, they are dealers, they are middlemen. And there are some middlemen that are taking advantage of, the vulnerability of the situation and impose exorbitant price, which make it difficult for an average Nigerian to afford.
Master bakers in the state reported that the price hike led them to halt production. The black marketers and middlemen are the cause of this problem. Before the protest, the price was 64,000 naira, but just within days, it rose to above 85,000 naira. That is why we took action. Dealers in Kano have decided to cut out middlemen and supply flour directly to bakers at an agreed price.
Inshallah, we will keep this arrangement that any goods that we have received, we will directly give it to the associations of master bakers, and at that point, we urge them to make sure that they distribute it accordingly to their members, so that inshallah, this action will help us to curtail these atrocities.
This agreement is expected to support the state government's effort to control prices for other goods as well.
Now, it was a sorrowful moment for relatives as the corpse of 19 victims of Wednesday morning boat mishap in southern Ijo local government area of Bayelsa State were brought to the state capital of Yenagoa. Recall that the tragic incident occurred when a wooden boat carrying over 62 passengers and crew members from Ize to one community to Yenagoa suddenly exploded and caught fire. Trust TV's Friday Mbowe Peter was there and reports.
Chairman of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria Bayelsa State Chapter, Ogoniba Ipigansi, regretted that death of the victims, which he largely attributed to a faulty engine and local diesel which may be inside the boat. Ipigansi, however, dismissed a widely rumored account that the driver was refueling the boat with diesel while the engine was working, leading to the fire explosion.
Negative report come, positive report come, but the report that what happened is that the engine got knocked and cause fire. What they will say here that I can know is that when these boats are coming from that rural area, sometimes this diesel you normally get is all this local diesel, which contaminates fuel, kerosene, diesel, all. So immediately something of knock, fire is a little scratch, it causes fire.
A survivor, Tamara Miembi John, narrated their ordeal from the scene of the incident, while a relative, Emmanuel Osilu, expressed sadness over the loss of his siblings and friends who died in the course of the accident.
When I wake up, I saw fire at the backside. So when I stand up, I run to the inside. I stand, what will I do? Did I jump inside the water? I said no. So when I went inside back, people are always already jumping out, going down from the bridge. So when I go inside to go and carry my phone, I only hold my bag with my jacket because the place was so dark and smoke over everywhere. So when I come out, I run to the front side. I'm seeing everybody, all the men are shouting for help. No way to help them. So my spirit was drawn so weak because of the way they are shouting. Then I fall into the water. No way for me to swim because I don't already breathe the way they shout.
According to the story from the reliable source, they have done 2 markets. On Wednesday, they are heading to another market that is a Kenny. So their diesel short. They wanted to refuel diesel, and the engine was still on. So when they were pouring diesel, some part of the diesel poured to the engine. That is how fire escalated.
On his part, the chairman Southern Niger Local Government Area Target, Segibo, who described the incident as unfortunate, berated the lack of adherence to safety measures, which he believed contributed to the devastating incident.
How can you load people if you don't have fire? Maybe the fire would have started like a live thing, and instead of using the normal civilized way of maybe some people they go pouring water. I want to do that. You're giving it a conflagration. More will come. And imagine when the weather is clear. You're like, if you look at the list, after this, I'm very sure you do not even know how to swim.
16 of the 20 casualties were brought back to the Yanagwa, where their bodies were deposited at the mortuary of the Federal Medical Center. Meanwhile, 33 others survived the accident. From Yanagwa, Friday, Ebimobowe Peter, reporting for Trust TV News.
Now, concerned citizens of Yola, Adamawa State capital, on Saturday gathered at the Nepa Central Mosque Eid praying ground to offer special prayers for rain. The region has experienced a 25-day dry spell, leaving crops planted for the rainy season on the brink of destruction. Farmers in the state are worried about the impact of the drought on their crops, particularly maize and rice, which are withering due to the lack of rainfall. The situation prompted the chief imam of Demsawa Central Mosque, Salihu Usman Suleiman, to lead a 2-rakat prayer, urging the congregation to repent and pray for divine intervention. In his sermon, Suleiman emphasized the importance of supporting leaders and constituted authorities with prayers rather than criticizing them. He also cautioned against failing to give alms to the needy, about banditry and kidnapping, citing these as reasons for famine and drought. The acting district head of Jimeta, Muhammadu Chubadu, expressed gratitude to the attendees and directed that the prayers be continued daily until the rains return. No fewer than 1,700 farmlands have been submerged, with over 500 houses after heavy rains caused floods in Buji local government area of Jigawa State. The flood, which mostly affected Gansa and Gwadeyi areas on Friday, 9th August 2024, led to the displacement of at least 1,200 people. Ali Rabiu has more in this report.
The district head of Gansa, Sabo Bello, said the heavy rains which led to the floods lasted for about 3 days, adding that over 1,000 farmland have been submerged and houses destroyed. while displaced persons are now taking shelter in less affected neighborhood and communities.
We have reported, to SEMA, we have reported and through SEMA to NEMA, and we have also reported to the honorable, member representing, our constituency, Uji local government, and also reported, to the Ministry of Environment.
Other affected farmers and residents spoke on the extent of the damage caused by the flood and appealed for intervention from relevant stakeholders to cushion the effects on them. I lost my 3 farms and all the fertilizers we received on loan from the governor because I used them in the farms. Our prayer is for Allah to come to our rescue. We have been experiencing floods, and as usual, the floods have come again, and we lost a lot, including farmhouses that we depend on for our daily survival. May Allah come to our aid. Personally, I lost only 1 farm and the fence of my house, but my father's 2 rooms collapsed. As a result of this flood, houses have been destroyed, including farmlands. My house was not affected, but my farms were.
After what happened to us, we can only trust Allah for help because we are in a very difficult situation. Right now, my husband is struggling to see how we can pack from this house because we are too many to manage in this place. Our fear again is that if by evening water enters the house, we will be forced to leave this place to somewhere else. There was heavy rains 2 days ago, which flooded my house. Our sewage is blocked, while all the sockaway pits have been flooded with water. Right now, we can't wash our clothes, cook, and carry out other house chores. We only get drinking water from the rain. Before now, we have been affected by floods as water almost swept our homes. And now, we are still experiencing it again. We need help.
In its response, the Executive Secretary, Jigawa State Emergency Management Agency, JSEMA, Dr. Haruna Mairiga, who represented Governor Malam Umar Namadi, said the government will ensure prompt evacuation of affected residents to a highland area and provide relief materials to help alleviate the suffering of victims.
There was a flood that took part of the town. So we have to inform His Excellency that this is what is happening, and quickly send his emissaries to condole with the people that were affected by the incident. It is normal. When such things happen, it is we that are supposed to fall. But there is no any problem from wherever we receive the message. We are here. We want to see for ourselves.
At the Regional Office of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Abdul Hadi Tuko, said the agency has visited the scene of the flood to assess the level of damages and report to the head office for necessary support.
As now, so the quick response to see if there is any IDPs, so if there is any displaced person, so we have to locate them at the safer ground, and then the state, local government, and the federal so will assist them. Because before the NEMA intervene, so we have to see what local government did and what the state government do. Then we NEMA, then we intervene.
In the aftermath of the flood, some houses collapsed with many others submerged, while residents are swimming through flood waters to safer places or to access their homes.
While others are praying for the rains to come to help their crops, others are praying for it to stop to help their crops. The irony of life. Still in flood-related matters, the federal government, through the Ministry of Works, has directed an immediate assessment of Section 111 of the Kano-Maiduguri Road cut off by a recent flood in Bauchi State. A technical team from the ministry will evaluate the damage and provide emergency solutions to ease the suffering of the Maluri Guskuri community. This was contained in a Saturday statement by the ministry. It stated that during a meeting with contractors, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, stressed the need for timely completion of projects funded by the tax credit scheme and disclosed the termination of Section 1 of the Kano-Maiduguri Road contract with e-contractors due to time expiration. The minister emphasized the importance of durability in road construction. He also called for greater commitment from all parties involved. We go to business, where the Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, today we reiterated and reminded banks and other financial institutions to forward their customers' account details to its Industry Customer Account Database, ICAD. NIBSS disclosed this in a statement titled CBN's Directive, Submission of Customer Account Details to ICAD. According to the NIBSS, the reminder was based on the Apex Bank's directives to all commercial and microfinance banks and others in a circular since 2019. According to the circular, all regulated financial institutions are mandated to push all their customers' accounts wallets to NIBSS ICAD within 24 hours of generating and assigning an account number to the existing or new customers. Now, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Michael Ango as acting chairman of the Federal Capital Territory Internal Revenue Service, FCT-IRS. The Director of Press Office of the FCT Minister, Anthony Ogunleye, in a statement in Abuja on Friday, said Ango's appointment was expected to expand the FCT-IRS revenue base. Ango will take over from Haruna Abdullahi, who headed the FCT-IRS in acting capacity for about 3 years. And away from Nigeria, a landslide at a landfill in Uganda's capital city of Kampala has killed 8 people. The city's authorities said on Saturday the incident happened late Friday after heavy rainfall when sections of the landfill collapsed, covering some nearby houses, Ugandan media also reported. Kampala capital city authorities said government and Red Cross personnel were searching the site and had rescued 14 people. The landfill, known as Kitezi, has served as Kampala's sole garbage dump for decades and had turned into a big hill. Residents have long complained of hazardous waste from the site, polluting the environment and posing a danger to people. Footage from NTV Uganda television showed people walking on a section of the landfill that had crushed parts of a house, while pictures from UBC Uganda showed an excavator attempting to dig up baggage. Let's now join Adini Ajishafe for some sports update.
Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy, Barrister Hannatu Musa said the collaboration with the Dambe Warriors League, DWL, will promote Nigeria's traditional martial arts sport known as Dambe to give it international exposure. Musa expressed delight with the organizer of Dambe Warrior League, responsible for promoting the ancient martial arts of Dambe to engage vibrant youth population and empowering them with sense of purpose to revive Nigerian cultural heritage, creating job opportunities, building capacity and fostering positive influence. Managing partner of Dambe Warriors League, Mario Wamni, described the collaboration as groundbreaking, adding that the significant milestone marked a crucial moment for traditional sport. Chidi Anier and Anthony Okeleke, co-founders and executive of DWL, shared their excitement with the endorsement of Dambe League by the ministry. With the ministry's support, Dambe Warrior League gains access to a robust network of traditional African sports enthusiasts, offering potential sponsors and opportunities to grow its brand reach. The partnership will also bring Dambe events to each Nigerian state, showcasing 1,000 years of Nigerian heritage to young men and women across the country. Superfight 03 is scheduled to take place at the Abuja Velodrome on 15 September 2024. And still on sport, Nigerian Sport Minister John Owa-Eno has stated that the scrutiny of the Sports Federation's constitution will be conducted extensively to ensure round pegs in round holes. This is coming on the heels of the zero medal outing that Team Nigeria recorded as curtain falls on Paris 2024 Olympics, emphasizing the importance of upcoming federations elections. Senator Eno noted that elections into the federations are coming and will be the perfect platform to get only those who have something to offer to lead Nigerian sport. This call for reforms aims to enhance the leadership and effectiveness of Nigerian sport federations, paving the way for improved performance on global stage. Meanwhile, Manchester City beat Manchester United 7-6 on penalties at Wembley Stadium to win 2024 Community Shield for the first time since 2019 to avenge their FA Cup final defeat in May, as Manuel Akonji scores the winner in a marathon penalty shootout after Bernardo Silva last-minute header levels Alejandro Garnacho's 82nd.
And with that, we've come to the end of News Hour tonight on Trust Television. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, please do all to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.